Hello,
hi guys,
everybody. So we thought we would mix it up today.
We are going way wild.
We're really, literally mixing it up. We're going to do an epoxy craft with one of our trays. Like, you might not know that we have these. Is it just called a...
It is a geode tray, I believe.
A geode tray. And they come with, you can get it with either gold or silver handles.
So this is just a silicone mold that you would use with epoxy. And Margie, show them the handles over here.
Okay, so we've got the silver and the gold handles.
Yeah, so you guys get to choose when you purchase this mold what type of hardware you want. And then you would just put that hardware in after the fact. So like you'll put the handle in there probably like 2 to 3 hours after it has set up.
Okay, I was like, how do you drill through the epoxy?
No. Yeah, so you will just put it in there about 2 to 3 hours and make sure you're pressing it down all the way, because when you go to drill your screws in, you want to make sure that you're not having to drill through 2 inches thick of epoxy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we're using our Easy Cast epoxy, and Shaila's gonna show us how to do this. So we have
Margie knows how.
We have a lot of epoxy molds. We've got an assortment of items to decorate this with.
I don't know how we're going to choose what to put in this
I
thing.
don't. We've got our foil flakes in gold, silver, and copper, and then we have a ton of alcohol inks, like
so many.
And I went grabbed kind of springy colors, like in the glitters and the alcohol ink. So we're just going to show you guys how to like pour it in and do it.
Yeah, guys, and today we're using our 1/2 ounce baggies of Starcraft loose glitter. These are available for only $2 a piece, and there is all different kinds and colors. Like, how many? Have we ever counted how many? I think there's over 100.
Yeah, there's like 100 different glitters. It's a lot.
It is so many. So you guys are going to get a really good look at some products that we don't normally show on live.
And these foil flakes are so gorgeous. In your epoxy crafts, they're super light. They're literal flakes. You'll see when we pour them in. Like, it's really cool.
Yep, they're really fun to just tear apart. You can crinkle them down into tiny little bits, or you can use big pieces to get that more chunky look. And so we're just going to go with it today. We have no colors picked out.
We don't. So for the epoxy, we are using our
big solo cups.
Need 2?
Yep, just 2. So when you get epoxy, you guys, you're going to get a part A and a part B, or a hardener and a resin. And you have to have equal parts of the 2 kinds that we sell at my craft source. There are other brands of epoxy out there where you mix like 1 part to 2 parts and blah, blah, blah. But ours is equal. So you just need to make sure that you have both equal parts. But we're using the entire thing today just to make sure we have enough. So we're not going to have to measure. We're just going to be dumping in.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, the reason why you want to actually dump your part A and your part B into separate cups before mixing is because it releases air pockets. So, if I were to dump all this in there and then just dump it would create a huge air pocket, and that is not good for when it sets up.
Okay.
So now, Margie, the question is, do we want to mix anything into the epoxy before we put it in the mold?
Ooh, I don't know, because I thought we were just going to drop.
I know, but we have options.
Oh, Shaila.
If we wanted to stir in some like foil flakes before we dump it in, we could do that. Maybe we should do mermaid kisses with purple alcohol ink and gold foil flakes.
Ooh, that sounds good. Okay, so what do we do, Shaila?
Okay, so now that we have them in the parts separate, we're just going to lightly pour in together.
Okay.
But I'll need your assistance because you need to scrape. You know what I mean? Make sure that we get all equal. You think it's going to hold it all?
I don't think it is. That's what I said. Look how full each cup is.
Interesting. Well, this should be fun. So, yes, in case somebody is panicking right now, we are in a very well-ventilated area. You will want to wear proper PPE when you are using epoxy.
We have super high ceilings and good ventilation here.
Yes.
So
we're not like right on top of it. We are also not going to be using any kind of torches or heat guns on the live, and that when you apply heat to the resin, it really cooks the chemical reaction and makes the fumes more dangerous.
Okay.
So we're doing all right. don't bash us, okay? We're not in the mood for that. We need to stir that for a good 3 minutes before we pour anything in it. Stir. When you mix your epoxy, slow and steady wins the race. It creates less air pockets, less air bubbles. It's important to scrape the sides of your cup and make sure that you're reaching all the way to the bottom, because if you don't mix the two components properly together, it will not cure correctly.
It'll leave it sticky.
Yeah, so if it's not mixed thoroughly, it will leave a sticky residue. Sometimes it doesn't cure at all, and so that is no bueno, because that is a lot of money wasted.
Yeah, but it
yeah,
works
you
as a
see
good
those
stir.
streaks?
Yeah,
that means it's not mixed.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just need to make sure we're mixing.
Okay, so we're mixing. We're mixing. So do you want to put anything down before we pour the epoxy in?
I think we're just going to put these in the epoxy itself, pour it in, and then we can start dropping glitter and stuff in.
That'll be fun.
There's really no rhyme or reason as to why you would do this one way or another. It's just super fun, and you should just go with it.
Yeah, you just
don't think too much about it.
And this is probably something like if you do one and then someone's like, ooh, I want that, it might be hard to recreate it exactly.
Oh, and that's the same with epoxy tumblers, you guys. Like if you get an order for the same exact thing that you did and it wasn't just a solid color and a sticker on it, you're never going to recreate that exact look. Like it's so hard. So like if you just had a little bit, like if you were just mixing this much resin, you wouldn't need to stir this long. And there's actually TikToks and YouTube videos of guys using their drill bits with their powered drill, because they're having to mix like 5-10 gallon buckets.
I've seen people do like epoxy counters and stuff, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah, so if you're doing epoxy floors or you're doing epoxy tables, you're mixing like 10-gallon buckets, you're not going to want to hand mix that. It's going to take forever. Okay, so I'm going to drop some flakes in, Marge, and you're just going to stir them in.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't necessarily want this much, but I do want a pretty big piece. So I'm going to put that back in there.
And they stick to everything, y'all.
They do. They're very sticky. Okay, so we are ready to pour, but I'm going to move this onto the mat first. Okay, guys. So we decided purple, right?
We got purple, and I think we should do some like pearl. Maybe we have a gold alcohol.
We have a rich gold. Yes.
Here's the pearl. What do y'all think? Purple, pearl, and gold, and then are we going to do some glitter too?
Yeah, I think we should sprinkle a little bit of the mermaid kisses.
Yeah. So the alcohol inks you want to shake really good. They do separate, and you can hear like there's a little metal bottle in there.
Only in the metallics.
Oh, the pearls. Okay.
The solid ones don't have it. So only in the...
We both have a metallic.
So something to know about alcohol inks is they are repellent to themselves. So you're not going to get a really good effect if you're dropping in places other than where you've already dropped them. So it's good to do, if you're watching us, we're dropping our colors inside one of another, and that really gives you a really good effect when it comes to
look how they spread.
Yes.
Do we swirl it or anything, or just let it be?
We're going to swirl it once we sprinkle our glitter in, and then we're just going to go lightly through.
So we're going to do mermaid kisses glitter. So
this is an opalescent translucent, so depending on what color you put it on, if you're putting it on a solid color, it will change. So just keep that in mind. It looks pretty now, but it's not going to stay this way unless you were to put it on a white base. So whatever color you put it on is the color it takes up.
Very cool. So now do we swirl?
Yes. I'm going to let you have all the fun.
Oh, Shiloh.
So there's a lot of people who work with epoxy out in like their she sheds and their garages, and they don't ever take into account the temperature of their room, and that is a huge deal with epoxy. So if you've never worked with epoxy before, just keep that in mind. Wherever you're working, you need to make sure that it's well ventilated. Humidity level is low to mid. You don't ever want high humidity. And then you're going to want your temperature to be anywhere between 69 and 74 degrees. And that is really what it likes. There is other brands out there that require even a warmer room, which the one that I prefer on tumblers, which is KS Resin, that one is it likes heat. It likes a lot of heat. So I actually have a space heater in my room when I'm working with it. And
so you're sweating while you're doing
it. While you're working.
Okay. All right.
Yay! Thank you guys so much for joining us. So we are so happy that you watched us and joined us today, and we hope you have a great rest of your week.
Yep. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.